Midori, switch with me, please. Oh god.
Oh god. Over here at 4 Midori. We're fine.
That skill takes forever to resolve. Holy cow.
Out.
Out.
Oops. I forgot to go in.
Stack. Left, then right. Easy pattern. Flare.
Good thing we have gear.
Right. Out. Red. Stack. Sure, be damn. Left. In red.
Okay.
Purple in, red out.
There's a red.
Yeah, that's my fault. I saw red and I was like, oh, I'm in.
I called that right?
You called it right.
Okay. No, you said that and then I started to doubt myself.
It's like, oh, these Occupied. Oh, Tam's at A. Oh, C's occupied.
Also
Wait,
looked
B's
like B was.
occupied.
It also looked like B was empty, but maybe that's just because I was there and somebody thought that I was in the right spot.
I was on C.
I was out.
It's like all 4 spots are taken. That's weird.
I usually plant myself on C, and as long as I don't get red, I don't move.
Nice.
Do we do a coordinated second pot time?
So this one, there's no downtime. So the second pot comes up like 30 seconds after the 4-minute mark, which is awkward. So you can either save it for 5 minutes or pop it on cooldown.
Purple in.
I got red.
Out. Left and right. Stack. Out and in. Easy pattern. Flare. Red in right. Flare. White. right, out. Nada. Sorry. Purple and
Okay,
red.
purple.
Top is exploding first. It's gonna be out, then in. Out. In.
I mean, we're dead unless it's people.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. I really wanted to throw that whole parse away because I had to cast a GCT heal.
Same.
I said I was sorry.
It wasn't because of that.
Oh, it wasn't on you.
Okay.
Was it on me?
No.
Because I went down to 1300 at one.
Nah, that's what I said
Right
the
at the
Dignities
beginning.
for.
Yeah.
It was the AoE. Somehow we managed to. I don't know. Somehow our cooldowns didn't align.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Like, isn't it weird to do that? Or it's one GCD.
In, red, out.
What is an earthly star? I'm a dum dum. Probably shouldn't kill placeholder.
I'm on award.
Left and right. There. Out and in. right out. Flare.
Oh, come on.
Red, right, in. Sonata.
I have purple.
Purple in.
So do I.
Asserting dominance.
Nita
I was here first.
I'm definitely not moving on the black mage.
in.
Well done.
Why are we having this conversation?
Why would you not move?
Pretty sure we literally said whoever was there first stays.
Didn't we change it so that we have like color coordinated swaps?
Not for that one.
Not for that one.
I got in, Carrot. Oh, you got out. We're good.
In the now. Stack. Right and left. Top is exploding first. Red, right, out. Flare. Red, in, left.
On me.
Purple, in, red, out. Easy pattern. Out, then in. Back to your square. Back rolls. I have red. Placeholder go in. Be on red. On white. It's on tightly. Stack.
All right. There's like one run I didn't phenomenally fuck things up.
Does anybody notice anything weird? I have a lot less HP than other people.
What
Dear.
happened? What happened? Oh, you're not
Don't
wearing
have
boots.
Who needs shoes?
What are boots good for?
See, the problem is your glamour. You're just like, how would you know? If you were wearing thigh boots, then you would have known.
What did we even get? Oh, I have those. Guess I'll pass on them. I guess we've gotten a few accessories at this point, and we've gotten books, so.
That was actually one of the last ones that I needed. I had a toss-up. It's like, do I buy the earrings or the bracelets? I'm like, whichever I buy, I'm gonna, like, that's the one that's going to drop next week. And I was delightfully wrong.
I bought the earrings last week and left my ring, and neither of them dropped.
Oh, you always gotta buy the ring. You're gonna need that eventually.
The ring is so much worse than the earrings.
Wow. Alright.
I have to buy the one with tomes, that's for sure. The ring, the tome ring. And I guess I could upgrade it if I got a whatever whatchamacallit.
I mean, the 20 eye level higher ring is only slightly better
Yeah,
than the crafted ring.
the healer one tells
Only
me it's
slightly.
crafted.
Apparently, the strength does not make up for all of the substats.
I mean, tanks have some pretty bad substats, right? Like tenacity.
Tenacity.
Just a complete waste.
Tenacity is my third highest substat that I need, besides crit and death.
Is it really better than direct?
It is. It is.
Skill speed.
Yeah, go for skill speed.
The
It's
problem
better than skill speed.
the problem is that since warrior no longer has to fit hits in your in the window, it's not a window anymore. It's like you get 3 hits, so skill speed doesn't matter like it used to. But it's still better on warrior than it is on paladin because 30% of your rotation is not affected by skill speed on paladin. It's just like point for point 30% worse on paladin than any other class.
I'm so upset I got a damage down in that fight. That's probably an orange pars. Rip.
But hey, look at all those purples. Look at people hitting buttons. Good job. I fucked up. I used my arcane circle when I was like out in Kansas, and I only hit like 3 people.
Oh, so close to an orange. Jeez.
Excellent. That says a lot about other sages.
Yeah.
Only 7 not wearing boots. That's like
we were cooking there.
170 main stat that you were missing, roughly.
It probably would have been a pretty good parse.
Yeah, that
You-
probably would have been spicy.
If I would have had my weapon, that would have been an orange parse.
Oh yeah, I got weapons this week, huh?
I'll get mine after this next one.
I will say I still got a damage down though. So, but if no damage down, and I had my boots on, then it would have been really good. All I have to do is not be bad both before I get in the game and during the game. And I might be 700 DPS higher than you, but I'm not 700 percentile higher than you.
700%.
15 behind.
Ollie with that 77 percentile.
The healing.
Yes.
What, really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I had a 55 percentile healing.
That's
Oh,
my
I need
highest healing parse ever.
I need to up my healing game.
Look, the easiest way to get orange healing parses is for the healers to stop healing you, so you get more regen ticks.
Oh, Shade Shift counts as healing now. Okay.
It's a shield, right? Yeah.
It is, yeah. I don't think they used to count it as healing. Whatever.
It may not have been broken out like this, but now they specifically show you shields versus.
Placeholder that 24 healing parts. You need to up your game.
Yeah, what the hell is this gray man?
Bump it up.
From what?
Regeneration. Natural health
Yeah, it
ticks.
has to be just natural regen. My bad.
You just need to weave a, mono ward in between any proc.
I don't think that counts as healing, it's shielding.
It does! Shielding counts towards your heal parse now.
Oh, I see. I'm putting some materia in real quick, give me a minute. I bought 3
Oh.
pieces of gear just now.
Eucrasian prognosis. I didn't cast that, did I?
I mean, it recorded it.
It's like you're looking at your bank statement and you're like, I didn't buy this, did I?
And then you look over there and you see the giant Dakimakura you claimed you didn't. Or Dakimakura, whatever.
Is that a GCD spell?
Yeah, it's my AoE shield.
Oh, is that sucker? You cast a sucker?
Yeah. Oh, okay. So I only cast it once, I guess. But the shield hit 4 times.
Yeah, hit 4 different people.
Oh, you know what? That was probably when I was getting my damage down stack. Yep, that's why I also cast my single target shield. So yeah, I probably cast both of those right then.
Thought I had materia, but I sold them all.
Oh, I guess they don't stack. I didn't know that. I should know that.
I just extracted them all.
Yeah. Scholar shields don't stack either. In fact, I don't think Scholar shields will stack with Sage shields.
That's correct. I believe. I guess we could test it really quick, but...
But there's some shields that will stack with each other.
Right. Well, like my Haima and Panhaima will stack with my other shields.
Yes.
But my 2 Eucrasia shields won't stack with each other.
Right.
I mean, if you try to stack them, you so crazy, yeah? You're like
Mm.
50%? No? Alright, fine.
Does the boost in healing in Panda 3, does that affect warriors Shake It Off or Nascent Flash?
It increases the amount of healing received by the target.
Wait.
So it might affect the heal portion of it, but not the shield.
Right.
But you have to be in the.
Yeah, you'd have to be the one taking the puddles, right?
Yeah, you have to be in the puddle.
Oh, you're talking about the puddle thing. Oh,
Yes.
Yeah. I actually never read it. I'm not sure. I think my skill that I use.
Probably does. But why would you take the puddle?
The problem is you can only take one of the puddles safely. I have to recast my AoE shields
For the
there.
for the 100% orange healing bars.
You know, you could maybe take the last one, but then I'd have to like super overheal for the next two big hits, which are enormous.
And unmelding a pentameld feels bad, even though I'm like, I know for a fact I have better gear than this. It's like, but this is pentamelded.
I didn't even pentameld my gear.
I mean, it's like a week 1, week 2 thing. So at this point, I just needed a debt material real bad. There we go. All right. Sorry for the wait.
I'm ready. I'm sorry. I don't know. That was weird.
This fight. I remember this guy.
Look at all this HP.
That's a lot more than before. Oh, wow, you guys have exactly the same.
So much HP for activities.
Wait, are you both the same? Whatever sub race of Miko?
Mooncat.
Probably.
Mooncat is best cat.
I thought Kanata was a sun cat.
Actually, yeah, maybe. But we might have the same bit.
No,
No.
they have different.
How do we tell?
The eyes. Yeah, you're a mooncat.
Yay.
Oh my goodness, I hate the balance.
You can also look at your profile section of your character sheet under race, clan, gender.
But that doesn't flex your knowledge of obscure whatever Final Fantasy lore. Are any of you sun cats? Or
A moon.
I mean, I'm a Lalafell, so whatever.
Yeah, but aren't there
Like
two
you're a
types of
soulless
Lalafell?
potato.
Yes, Plainsfolk are objectively better because they don't have the creepy eyes.
I'm sorry. What?
Get out.
Dunes
There's a
folk
reason.
have one more
There's a
int?
reason. There's a reason why you're wearing that hat. So we
Ah.
can't see your creepy eyes.
I definitely have one more int than you do.
Yeah, that was relevant in 2.0, except for it still wasn't.
What's creepy about my eyes?
They have no pupils.
You don't know that.
You got that weird like snake cover for those desert sands.
It's good for seeing at night. Haven't you seen Pitch Black?
You got some eye shine in prison?
Well, that's right. I don't use that. That's fine.
D. We're safe here. Let's jump into A. Knockback. Check your debuffs. We're fine here. Tank left, DPS right. Behind the grate. Tank Buster at 1. Good here. Remember to hold your burst. He's jumping to D. Knockback.
Tank Buster at 4.
What? C or D. Check your debuffs. You will be at D or A. You're at D.
LB. Not now.
I'm going to start here, move towards C. Where's the party going after the spread?
D.
The indoor.
Tank Buster. Part of light. C. Remember to wait until after the tank has grabbed the tether and has started moving. I'm grabbing the tether. Got it. Move to D. We're going to be going towards C. Tam, you're taking this tank buster? Whatever.
I'm
it
not.
is. After this.
Light party stacks first.
Yeah, knock back.
No tank buster.
Of course, we clear on the. I don't know why I died.
Tombstone to Midori. Everyone else should be able to get one if you've been doing normals every week.
You took 1,000 more damage than you had HP.
That's a big number. So, guessing just cooldown.
I mean, I had pressed
Snapshot.
camouflage and it was on cooldown, and I had Heart of Corundrum. It was on, like, I had pressed them both, but whatever.
Snapshotting this game sucks.
I had just potted.
I wait till after the tank buster to pot.
Yikes, 2. You rolled a 2.
Alright, time for weapon.
I didn't see what killed everyone.
Well, because one person dies, that like kills another person.
What, with the water?
Yeah.
No, placeholder didn't get far enough.
Yeah, and that just cascades, and somehow someone got a dot, and then just...
I'll say I died first because I stood in front of Tam for the stack, but I did my arrows already. My arrows were first.
Yeah.
So that shouldn't have led to anyone else dying.
I just looked down and there were 3 people dead. I'm like, why am I not dead? That's what I usually.
Dot on you.
Also, if I had gotten up, I would have died, so...
Yeah, you also probably would have killed all of us.
What? No, it would have been fine.
He would have rezzed onto the second platform. That's
I would have rezzed on the destination platform, and would have been stuck there when the capture for when the circles went out and where they went would start. Which means you guys would run into my circle, my AoE circle.
If you had gotten out right when I cast it, you would have been time, but
Maybe.
definitely.
Okay. It was 50-50.
I mean, there would have been bad times in between there.
Yeah, also,
And
like,
there's the possibility that we wouldn't have healed him, and if we didn't heal him, he definitely would have died, like the second AOE.
Are we talking like Dickensian bad times? Like height of the Industrial Revolution, poverty, bad times, that kind?
I mean, yeah, if he picked the wrong time, he could have killed everybody.
The best of times, the worst of times.
also it's 50-50 whether or not he would get yeeted when he gets rezzed. And that, while he has invul not, still gets yeeted.
Drop C.
We could heal you through drop C maybe, but you getting yeeted into a wall is not recoverable.
No. This is
think bigger shield.
Galaxy Brain strat, which is you get up and then you still have the invuln, and then you stand in front of someone who's getting yeeted by the water to block them so they don't go into a wall.
Somebody get posted before we go into 3.
Oh, sorry, I was melding.
Log of shame.
Here, I got it. Woof. Big oof.
Don't say that. Post it
For
first.
me, it's for me. A big oof for me.
Oh, even with the hard cast res. I mean, I guess it's still only 4 GCDs.
Yeah, not bad.
We are perfectly balanced in healing. Not in output, but in percentile.
Yep. Although I cast in what, 8 GCDs there?
Oh. Well, res is 4.
That's true. 3 AoEs.
Oh, and I swift cast a res too, so that's 5.
Oh yeah, I also swift cast those. 5, 7. 7 plus a res, yeah. Also, just like, I don't know what to do with these cards. I draw a ranged card. I don't want to put it on. Holds the card for like 2 minutes, like a dum-dum.
What part of this fight ruins our active? Is it when we're like baiting the electric slide part?
Yeah, when the 1, 2, 3, 4 markers go out.
So I guess it keeps a tank in aggro during that whole process, but nobody else then? Because Tams never gets ruined, but everyone else like loses 3% almost.
If you get lucky enough to get a 1 or a 3, you can stay in melee the whole time.
Yeah, but he's not.
I had a well.
Can't
He's not
target them.
targetable.
That was
I want to
a
be hitting him the whole time.
the two triangles that are next to it can also stay in melee.
But again,
He's not targetable.
you can't do damage to him in that phase, so like...
But if you have to run out to get to your spot, you can miss up to like 3 GCDs.
Okay.
Yes.
I don't, and neither does Midori, and we always lose like a bunch of active in that fight somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know.
Some other mechanic must be causing that, and unless it is that one, and then I just don't know why a tank would keep their active up during that, unless it's coded to keep threat for some reason.
I
Red, so.
I basically didn't have any downtime because my triangle number was on his hitbox, so I was able to keep full uptime during
That's
that.
only one though. There's a couple times where we like have to deal with stuff like that.
I can hit him from any point in the arena, and I don't ever stop pushing my buttons. So, I mean, unless I'm dead. So it's not about where your position is. Like, I always end up within 97 if I don't die.
Even if you miss like 1 GC, that's not 3% active, so something else is definitely going on.
Did you die?
I did, yeah, but that
That counts.
yeah, but Carrot didn't, and I have more than him, so
Well,
that
I had
couldn't
to
have made
run
them-
out. I had to run to the other side of the arena, and I'm bad at using whatever soul reaping or whatever the heck it was.
Yeah.
Oh, did you get the bubble?
There's minor
No.
times, like when we get knocked around and stuff, that certainly count for some percentage. But yeah, I have no idea.
A fraction of a GCD here and there. I think it's more like a.
Well, each one of those could be like. Well,
I guess that's stun us for a GCD or two, doesn't it?
yeah,
With
each
the water
one.
things. Yeah, I forgot about those.
So if you're like a caster and you're not like melees are instant, right? So like they hit their ability, they get their effect, and then they have 2.5 seconds of like whatever still counts as uptime. If you're a caster and you didn't insta cast right as it started, right? Like that would be downtime.
The main tank always gets an arrow too, right?
Yeah, everyone does. It's all people.
But main tank is melee, right? So he has instant casts for everything. So he could technically be getting credit when you're stunned if you didn't instant cast properly, right? But again, that's still only like maybe a GCD and a half times 2.
Yeah,
It's not 3%.
something weird's going on in that fight. Whatever. If it's happening to everyone, then it doesn't really matter.
I cut those arrows super tight. Like I usually run out when there's 1 second left on the arrow timer.
I watch you. That scares me. I'm like, is he gonna get out of the way in time?
I gotta get that last GCD in.
Well, you know what? There's one thing is that survivor bias is that the logs where he doesn't make it out in time don't get posted.
Ah. Sometimes.
I mean, he has control over that. He just dies.
Like, and then the party wipes.
I mean, in that fight, Oli could pick it up.
Yeah, probably. I mean,
The
obviously it's possible, but does it happen? Depends. Probably not every time.
25.
Actually, Oli never takes aggro that whole fight, does she?
She doesn't need to.
Nope. Not unless something goes wrong.
And that fight also doesn't have like autos on the second target, does it?
Nope.
That is literally a like one tank cheese fight. If you could, figure out just all the places to. I don't know if you have enough cooldowns to make that actually work with all the shared tank stuff, but
You might. Because it
You
only
could
does
somehow.
150 or so? 160?
Maybe.
We could definitely make it work with healer help, right?
Yeah.
get enough shields up there.
I mean, it's not even that hard. It just requires us to know and specifically be aware of it.
Yeah. We need to put like a 60,000 shield on tank, which is not impossible. Like every 2 minutes, right? Not a big deal.
I mean,
And
I
every
could-
other one you can home gang.
I can put about 20,000 worth of shields on myself. If not more.
Well, you would also have to pop like literally all your cooldowns.
Oh yeah.
Which means that the other tank busters or big hits would not have cooldowns.
Well,
There are tanks,
I'd
right?
have bloodwetting up for everything.
Right.
And I only use bloodwetting on the stack laser.
Oh yeah, how would that work? Who would take the first one? I guess we would have to find a target to shield.
Yeah. The alternative to that is, like, are the shared tank busters magic or physical?
Let's do this fight, please.
Okay.
Max melee. Right Cinderwing. Stack up. B. Right Cinderwing. Stack up. Sides. Oh, no. Point these outwards. Stack mid. Spread. Fountain of fire. Tanks are starting middle. Two AoEs. Tank Buster.
It's not me, right?
Firestorms. Stack. Alright, tanks are gonna be south. Starting at 1, moving clockwise. Spread. Wait for the donut. Spread.
Drop these a little bit in.
Face them inward. Check the number of times you need to be hit.
What is that punch?
Make sure you're all the way in the middle.
This one's going to be out. Go ahead and move out.
And stack.
Stack.
Oh, we are so dead placeholder. Holy cow!
Calculated.
Sides.
I don't want this clear.
Me either. But I'll take it over spending the whole night here.
Can't we come back and do it again?
No.
This is garbage.
Back up. A.
Move a little further. That's where probably.
It's going to be facing wrong.
Left center wing. AoEs. How?
I don't even want to see the part.
I'm not gonna upload it. We just didn't clear this week, okay?
I'm fine. I'm
That's
aware of
fine.
that.
Hey, a
That's
hat!
fine.
I need this hat. If nobody else needs a hat. Because it just changed my best in slot, which sucks.
Well, I'm not getting any of that, so.
Neither am I.
When the rolls are that bad.
I might have done okay if it weren't for that very, very first thing where it locks it in super early.
Oh, I will never. I don't think I'm ever gonna get above a blue parse in this fight.
Oh, I'm pretty sure I got another gray parse. That was. I stopped potting, like, on the second one. I'm like, whatever.
I'm actually really pissed that near the end there, when it was like 8%, I hit my pot and I had all my shit lined up, and the pot didn't happen. So the pot didn't even go off.
I miss so many GCDs moving the boss.
Is there a way to like post but have it like not count?
You can make it a private log.
How do I do that?
I don't know.
I'll do it.
Hey, let's take a 10-minute break or a 5-minute break before we go into the next one.
That's fine. Let's do that.
Was that the first poll?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank goodness. I mean, I know nobody likes their parse or whatever, but we don't. I'm with Oli. We don't have to be in there all night.
Yeah, I load in and it's just like, I hate that arena so much.
Also, I think I'm going to mute the background music for the next fight so that I can just have Castlevania music going the whole time.
I think.
Parrot, you weren't gray.
Why am I not gray on this one? This one I think I did objectively worse.
I wouldn't mind, a second or third pull clear if it meant it was a lot cleaner, but we don't know how long it could be.
Yeah. Maybe. Yeah.
That's the problem. That said, I think I know that fight a lot better than the first one. Like, the first one, although I can figure out the mechanics as they're happening, I never learned the first fights that well.
I can't believe that it's the year 2022 and they still haven't figured out how to make it so that you can upgrade your weapon when you don't have a second copy of that weapon in your inventory. Luckily, I do have a second copy of my weapon, but the fact that you have to, like, go buy some, you have to have a backup for the 5 seconds in which you are.
Oh, that always throws me off. Transparency in menus. Like, I pulled up the Windows menu and I had this big red blur behind it. I was like, what the fuck? Oh, it's that placeholder. I'm still waiting for the healing.
Oh, you want to see the healing parses?
Yeah, of course I do.
You're not
This-
gonna like them.
Is this a golf score?
In reality, yes, but I'm also amused by the fact that it's not going to be.
It's really stupid. You get 15% of your healing parts with one button.
Yeah!
96. Ooh. Our total healing was a pink parse. I think that means that we took some unnecessary damage.
Hmm.
Oh, I was eating damage downs like they were going out of style. Just like
I like
oh,
I like that our party healing is higher than anybody's healing.
So none of us is as bad as all of
number
us.
We're number one.
Ring of Slaying.
We also didn't deserve that clear when we had 3 people in our stack.
The HP numbers got real low. I was hopeful for a second that that would be the wipe.
What I thought was going to happen is that placeholder was going to ethereal manip to us, but it was going to be too late, so he'd get clipped by the middle one, and then he would die in the stack, and the other 3 of us would live. I was like 100% confident that was what was going to actually happen.
Yeah.
I couldn't click on someone.
We were prepping for it too. We're like, the instant you take that big middle ball, we have 2 off globals for you. Just make sure you're alive with the stack. Didn't matter. To be fair, if you did make it, you would definitely die. So next level strat, you just stay in the middle and take the damage down?
The damage don't feel so bad.
I don't even know how big of a damage down it is. Like, some of them it's really obvious. This one might just be like 15% or something like that.
Certainly feels bad.
It does.
I mean, it is bad, but is it as bad as weakness? Probably not.
I think it's worse.
They learned that the only way to get DPS to care about doing mechanics is to lower their DPS as opposed to making them take more damage. Because a Vuln stack punishes the healers, whereas a weakness stat punishes the parse.
Good old days trying to keep a like 5 volt stack person up. You're like,
I Vuln tank in Stormblood with 5 Vuln stacks tanking without tank stance.
yup. That's an ad look on every kit. Did anyone look up how to do this, or we just?
I'm reading the guide.
I think we can, face pull a few times.
Yeah.
Like tonight can be the face pull night. And then we can start, weaning ourselves off of our bad strats.
This guide long.
The truth is
What
even in
is
the
your
final
strategy?
fights, most of the time we can usually get through the first, couple minutes of the fight without looking anything up.
Right, and then we eventually get to the point where placeholder says, we're not even to the hard part yet. Should we start looking up strats?
It does seem like a consistent trend. Though I don't want to try to think about how long Phoenix would have taken if we kept doing that fight.
Oh god.
Phoenix, nothing in Phoenix seemed like it was like that difficult from a puzzling out what the correct solution is.
Like, it would have taken us a couple pulls to figure out how Fountain of Fire works, for sure. Which, let's be honest, can add up to a lot of time very quickly.
Right, especially if you're like only getting there a third of the pulls.
The frustrating thing is when you don't get there consistently. Like, Fountain of Fire's not far enough into the fight that we couldn't get there consistently, but if it was like 3 minutes later in the fight, it would have been infuriating.
1 second, I'm taking out the trash, and not in a figurative sense.
I don't think most of those mechanics though were that complicated. Did we? Like, there's the tornadoes, right? Like, that one's legitimately would have been confusing for a while.
I don't think we would have came up with the super cheese.
No, we would have ended up with something that's very similar to the like first diagram. The like, you're doing everything legit.
But that doesn't look like the super cheese isn't really. I don't think it's really that much easier.
It's easier when there's stuff going wrong, right? If, for example, Placeholder had died there, like he did,
right?
If he had to take a tornado, one of the melees would have to like be out of melee for like.
We would not have been able to practically adjust.
Yeah.
It also makes it it frees up that brain space so that you can just like, I always know exactly where I'm going to go every single time on this thing, and we're all stacked together, and easier on heals too, probably. 1 second.
That's actually the weird thing about Sage. I just hit my AoE buttons. I don't single target anybody ever. I hit one GCD. Actually, no, it's not even a GCD. It's an off GCD. Yeah, I literally don't ever single target people with GCDs. And I only off GCD target tanks. And only like 3 times a fight.
What about when someone like takes a hit? Do something about it.
Get good.
Don't you have Lustrate or something equivalent?
So my Lustrate shares stacks with my AoE, right?
Yeah.
But so like I'm hitting my AoEs on cooldown basically, like the whole fight.
Yeah.
So I do have extra stacks for single targets, but not many.
Yeah, same with Scholar. We have 3.
Well, I Kanata, nobody except you knows how Scholar actually works.
You just like
Hey,
around with it.
I know how Scholar works. It's fine.
Oh, I know what like skills they have, but I don't know how it plays in Savage content.
You basically save an ether flow specifically for every exact moment of the fight, and then when anyone else takes extra damage, you're forced to use a Lustrate. You just wing the rest of the fight.
You're just sad.
There's a little button you push that makes everybody walk faster.
Yeah.
That's a fun button.
Really?
And make them run into the wall.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, it's the troll button that gets people to kill themselves.
That's what they gave. That's why they gave it to Scholar.
It's like all of your pent-up frustration.
You got Rescue, and you got Reverse Rescue. AoE Reverse Rescue.
I have to say though, with all of the abilities that Sage has, like, there's actually like a depressingly few number that are interesting and good. Like,
It kind of seemed that way reading the skills. I'm like, what's the difference between this skill and this skill? It's like, well, this one uses this resource, and this one uses this different resource.
also, by the way, I found a new nickname for Addersgall. It's Adderall.
Adderall.
But yeah, like, basically Carachol which is the one that you always see going off right before everything, which is the reduced damage by 10% regen, 100 potency, 7 ticks, or 5 ticks, excuse me, with the base potency. But like, yeah, Sacred Soil. Like, that's the one that I use all the time, everywhere, because it's great.
Is that like your neutral sect?
It's Sacred Soil.
No, it's just Sacred Sword.
Oh, okay.
10%, 5 ticks to 100.
And restores MP. So I I need to be using my Adderall all the time. So if I'm going to use one, that's going to be the best one.
Yep.
And then there's Haima and Panhaima, which are like the definition of being a shield healer is like having cool shields. Well, that's my cool shields that I get. And that's it. Like, there's nothing else to this class that's like legitimately interesting. Things like Ixochol, 400 potency AoE heal. Okay, fine. It's almost as good as Carachol. It's faster. Yeah, it's Indom.
Indom.
But like, Carachol is always better. It's just that I can't hit Carachol all the time.
Alright, I want a mod for Final Fantasy XIV that just renames all of the Sage skills as Scholar skills.
No, vice versa. But randomized.
Oh no! What if you just take the different parts of the word and then just like mix it?
Every time you launch the game, it randomizes the words for Sage skills.
And it randomizes your button placements.
And the icons.
Yeah, and the icons.
And like, I guess my interesting single target is 700 potency, reduces damage taken by target by 10% for 15 seconds. It's my cool lustrate.
Yeah. Scholar got a cool lustrate like that too. It's just like, you take less damage.
Okay.
Alright, all the healers have that.
Let's see, what is that called on Sage? Let's see.
Oh, it doesn't give a tooltip. How do I send an ability name?
No, I'm looking at it.
Okay.
Oh, the one thing that's cool about Exaltation is you can use that to make a very large adloc.
Yes.
And then spread it.
Wait, where is the skill? I'm looking at it in the list. What level is it?
74? Sorry, 84? 84 or 86?
Is it a trait?
Protraction.
Oh, protraction. Oh, well that's not nearly as good as the one Sage has. Sage has the same thing, but it's 20%.
Scholar also has the fairy, which is,
Right.
is another 10%.
I don't... Am I blind? Exaltation? I don't see it.
That's on Astro, so 10%.
Oh.
And White Mage has the same thing. Aqua Veil.
I was looking for the special... lustrate.
Oh, that's the equivalent, because it also heals for 10%. Right? Because it increases
it raises
your max HP,
max
it
height.
heals the difference. Just like how Thrill of Battle does.
Let's see.
which makes it actually pretty bad on anyone who's not a tank, because it's not a potency-based heal, it's a percent health-based heal.
Yeah.
It comes up about to...
On a tank.
No, on a not tank. So, for example, Benefit heals for... I crit. Okay?
I know, I just crit too.
Okay, so it's like half the potency on a regular person. Okay, that's pretty helpful. Yeah, it's as if you got a 250... yeah, about 250 potency heal on someone. The difference is it increases their max...
What? It's effectively a shield.
Yeah, it's like a thrill of battle.
Yeah, my torch roll does 14k.
Okay.
But, like, again, it's one of those things where it's like it heals 700 potency, but then it prevents damage. So do I cast it before or after?
Before.
Right, but if I use it before, like, they might be at full.
You gotta just...
Like, it's not actually, like, it's actually the panic button, right? It's like somebody got rezzed and they're about to take damage, use that on them.
Yeah, and Astro's is backwards, where you reduce the target taken... damage taken by target by 10. Then it heals them. While on Scholar, you need to put 2 skills on someone to do the same thing.
It's a good panic button, but like it's not a good strategic button.
Well, you just don't heal the tank and then put her on them. It feels bad, but
Nah, how about I just don't hit it?
I mean, you can also just put it on them, right? Screw the heal. It's a 10% damage thing.
Like, you know what a vampire needs is glasses, so he can hit a very specific demographics fetish.
Absolutely.
Looks like a librarian / vampire.
The more specific the fetish, the stronger it hits those people.
I feel like I could actually slip through these spikes, so I don't understand why they kill me.
This is non-spoilery. At some point in the fight, there is a move called Near Sight, Far Sight.
Does he
And I'm like,
visually? Does he put on the glasses?
I know nothing about it.
That he better put on the glasses
All I know
or
is
take them
somebody
off.
tweeted, and it was a picture of the cast bar, and it said Near Sight, and they said if you kept your glasses on, this wouldn't be a problem.
I guess with nearsighted, if you're close, he can see you and he hits you, and farsighted, you have to get near so he can't see you as well.
It's a reasonable guess.
We have
Yeah,
to all
that's
put
a
our
different
2B,
insight.
all put our 2B costumes on.
He can only see you if you're wearing that costume.
Any underovers?
It's either that or he tries to set the camera angle so that you get the upskirt. That's also near sight.
Over-unders on how long they'll last? 30 seconds? 30 seconds?
Alright,
1
let's
minute.
die to the first
1
mechanic.
minute. Started at 1:18:38. This is AoE, right?
Yeah, raid wide.
Didn't die to that. Cool.
Another raid
Buster.
wide.
Wait, isn't this also new? No, it's not.
4 people got hit.
True. DPS got it.
He got a buff. The buff says something has replaced Cursed Aether of 1 of 3 rolls.
Okay.
Almost there. Almost at the 1 minute mark. Oh, I got a thing. No longer subject to the effects of roll call.
Oh, shoot. Don't know why a bunch of people just died.
That was third. Well,
Oh, jeez.
Whoa!
Wait, what?
Alright, hit my
Ouch.
tanks.
Is that a dual tank buster?
It was definitely a multi-hit thing.
And you got a debuff, so
Yeah, there was a magic debuff.
Yeah, I saw the debuff. And I
I
didn't
vote
care
for
about it.
tank stance on it. Okay.
Sounds like we need to pass stuff.
Yeah, sounds good.
Alright, go first. Away from the middle. Oh, I went to the wrong corner.
And
then
then stack up. So
oh,
you
and
need
then stack
to
up? Oh, shoot. One of us is just gonna die. Me!
Actually, it looks like there were multiple.
Other.
Yeah.
So
Oh.
that was probably pairs.
Oh, jeez.
Split into pairs.
Oh shit.
Easterly, so he's going east.
Oh,
Oh.
I can my directions. Oh, that's not super.
Alright, waymarks.
Longer than a
north.
minute.
They need to make 4 more waymarks that are just NESW.
Yes.
Think of the potential for abuse with all those letters.
I know, I mean, you can already say, like, Sid Dick or whatever. Sorry. Big. Nope, you can't. There's only one. Anyway.
This reminds me of King Letter.
You just gotta make it a cross pattern.
It was, this one.
Are we going in with any sort of game plan for that mechanic or no?
Nobody was looking at anything apparently besides the fact of how long it's been lasting.
No, I was reading out
Yeah.
things. So there was something called roll call.
I have a picture of that. We have to pass that to each other.
Pass what?
Do we
Yes.
have to pass it, or do we have to make sure to not pass it?
In fact, maybe transfer by coming in contact with another player.
Is it rot, or is it? I don't know. I'm asking.
Okay, so I'm guessing after you've passed it, you get the thing that says that you cannot get roll call again.
Yeah, that's my guess, because I had that, and I was probably just standing on somebody's, so I had it, immediately passed it to them, and didn't see the first buff.
So that one says players of a certain role. I'm gonna guess because it's green and red that it's healers and DPS. So you need to pass that to a tank.
But there were 3.
Right,
Yeah,
so one of them, I'm pretty sure it says, oh, actually, we can just grab a screenshot of, whatever, find the, that timestamp. I just want to see what the icons look like, color-wise. I'm not gonna scrub your thing. It's
That's what she said.
oh, Midori. Hang on a second.
148
Can you please grab a screenshot?
I earned that face.
I know.
Dumb crop thing. Here.
You said 148.10? This link cuts off at 148.09.
Can you just like crop your screenshot to just the party list and then upload that? Right, Control C, Control V. Alright, so looks like there's more than 3.
Yeah, looks like there's 4.
And unfortunately, it just says a certain role. No, so the one that's on me is the one that says that I am immune to the effects or I cannot get the effect of roll call. Which probably means that I've already passed it on accident. Or, not on accident, just I didn't know what the heck's going on, so I touched someone.
I don't see any consistent logic here.
1 healer, 1 tank, 2 DPS, right? Oh, wait, no, because we passed them. So it must have been...
3 DPS ended up with the tether thingies. Because it was me, Tylee, and placeholder. Because we all died.
I had 2, but Ollie took 1.
And the you can barely see on the boss that little up arrow thing with the weird little green house or whatever that's supposed to be. That's the thing that says, hey, there's some mechanic going on, some sort of roll call mechanic. It did not give anything meaningful in terms of figuring out what that means.
Let's just try it again.
Is that what the tethers were?
No, the tethers were after that, but it might still be part of the same mechanic.
And it seems like you can pick up other people's tethers.
Yeah, let's spread out though when that's about to happen.
Yeah.
Ollie, did you die with your tether?
I did not.
Also, I saw at least 2 stacks when that lightning stack happened, so there might just be 2 on healers.
Spread out. So he has the buff on himself. Aether, absorbing and storing Aether. That's the design.
He absorbed Aether from Tylee and them.
I saw okay,
It's just
there's
random.
tank, healer, and 2 DPS. I guess I'll take this.
I mean,
Inverse
I had it, but...
Quamis. I did not die.
I dodged it because I had a tether. I think.
I think the people with it need the tethers.
Yeah, maybe, because I grabbed it off Kanata and I actually, like, the dodge came up on the screen, so.
I think the dodge was the debuff. What the heck is reverse Climus supposed to mean?
Is that what he did when he did a blood rake on the 3 people?
Oh, that was the name of the skill that had the tethers when it was finishing the... I'm just like, is there any hint in the name of the move? And I'm guessing no, unless someone remembers something from normal mode.
He before that he had gotten a buff on him that said he had absorbed things from certain rolls.
I think that just means he's in a buffed state, probably.
Okay.
But it was the same thing when it was before it was starting DPS.
I'm gonna guess.
No, wait. Well, never mind.
My first theory is that for this first one at least, we need all of the debuffs either on tanks and healers or DPS. and not tanks and healers.
Who did he
Can
target?
you pass the red and black thingy, or is that not passable?
I don't think that's passable.
Okay, so is it the same amount of those as there are tethers?
I think so.
Yes.
How many tethers were there?
4.
Okay, then yes. So what I'm guessing is
Placeholder, do you have one of each?
One of each of what?
Did you get targeted with the black and red thing?
I had green and red.
Well, I mean, the little cloud that goes around you. So did you get targeted with the first thing and then take a tether?
No.
Okay.
I did not get targeted with the first one.
did you pass the debuff thing?
No, because I tried walking into people and it didn't pass. All I did was I ran into Tylete and I ran into Kanata, and then I took the tether off of Kanata and walked off to the side and dodged the hit.
And okay, so then I guess you can't pass the things.
Well, you pass the tethers.
You can pass the tethers, but not the debuffs.
No.
Okay.
So then, whoever gets the debuffs, that's going to be part of resolving the mechanic. So you're saying you took the tether, and you did not have the debuff. Did you have the little up arrow thing that has the the Y-shaped?
I had the 3 red circles with the green background, and I still had that when I got hit by the tether attack.
Okay, so I'm guessing all 4 people who start with the green and red, we'll call it the Christmas debuff. If you've been Grinched, you need to take a tether.
That sounds right, but I'm wondering if we need to take it off of somebody who is a different role. Like I don't think I can take Oli's.
Oh, right, because in the normal mode, it shows you like those balls that's like this needs to be taken by not a tank or whatever.
Yes.
So like we could just have DPS to healer, DPS to tank. Right, because there's 2 DPS. That was the solution in normal mode is DPS take tanks and healers stuff, and the tanks and healers take the DPS stuff.
Sorry, I got a text. What are we doing?
Okay, so the current presumption is that the people who have the green and red debuff icon need to take the tethers, but they need to take it from someone. Take a tether from someone who is not the same role as them. So 1 DPS needs to take a healer tether, and 1 DPS needs to take a tank tether. So I would say like melee DPS prefers taking from tanks, ranged DPS prefers taking from healers, and if it's double melee or double ranged, we just do a priority system.
I think all the tethers are the same. Like if there's going to be a mechanic where that matters, that'll be later.
I mean, it was specifically called roll call.
So, what's the deal with the other debuff people are getting? The not Christmas tree one.
Yeah, that one says that you can't do, or you're immune to the effects of roll call.
But that's weird, right? Because if the way to resolve roll call is to take a tether, and there's 4 of those debuffs and 4 tethers, why is there even need to be a debuff for the other people?
I think that's a very reasonable question, but I don't think we have enough information. So
I'm keeping my sussy radar on. Something doesn't feel right.
So maybe can we get somebody who has that debuff to take a tether too? See what happens.
Is that a screenshot from the last time we just did it? Because Carrot did take one.
I took a tether.
Yeah, isn't that what Slinja just said?
Yeah.
Someone with that debuff, take a tether and see what happens. Didn't you die?
No, I took almost my entire health and damage, but I lived. I died when both the tanks died and I got autoed. Now, I don't know if I was supposed to take it. It seemed like a lot of damage.
I think when it's done correctly, you dodge, because I took 0 damage from the tether.
All right. Well, then let's have the people with the debuff take it. See what else happens. Maybe there's a later mechanic.
Keep an eye on who gets the 3 red, like, blood-suck tethers at the beginning. I feel like there's some significance to that.
I'm pretty sure it's
likely.
1 tank, 1 healer, 2 DPS. We'll see if it continues.
No, the blood sucking at the beginning is either tanks, healers, or DPS. It's 4 people. Alright, let's see the tanks, healers.
That's not the thing we were talking about, though.
So this thing
This
here, it's on
On-
DPS.
All DPS.
Oh. I didn't notice that one before.
And now I don't have any debuff, but he has a buff on him.
Oh, he's going to do something now.
No
Alright.
DPS? No? Some DPS.
So, yeah. Now, can I, like, just give this... Yeah, so I can't just give this to you by walking on it.
So someone take the tether off me because I have nothing. There you go.
No!
Well,
I'm gonna die.
Prepare it.
Oh, no. I passed it.
Oh, no. I did not die getting the tether with no debuff.
So, I was able to pass my debuff after the tethers went out. Before the tethers went out, I walked over people, and it didn't do anything. Although, maybe it only swaps it between people of the same role.
I passed mine to Kanata before the tethers came out.
The red and green thing?
Yeah, and then I did not die, and then I had a tether, and I did not die.
Did you have one at the start?
Have what?
A red and green.
The 3 balls?
The 3 balls.
Yeah, I had the 3 balls.
Okay, that explains why I couldn't pass it to Tam, because he already had it. Alright, I want to propose we just try doing the thing that I was saying about passing. But let's try passing the 3 balls thing to melee to the tank that doesn't have one, and then the melee that doesn't have one gets it from the tank that does. So here, I'll just set up some past spots. So melee tank at 1 and 2, and then ranged and healer at 3 and 4. So
This is for what?
Kanata, can you link the stream?
this is when the green and red balls go out. If you start with one, don't keep it.
What's causing the secondary debuff, the one with the white lines, the Y-shaped one?
If you passed it.
Okay.
If you passed it, you get the thing that says you can't pass it again.
The tether or the?
Or the debuff.
The buff, the up pointing arrow that has a Y shape on a red background, means you passed the debuff. It.
Oh, yeah, so Tylee passed to me, got the Y-shaped thing, took a tether and lived. Since DPS got the blood rate thing, that sounds correct.
So the first blood rake hit the tanks and healers, and the second one hit the DPS.
Yes.
Is the first one called Blood Rake?
They're both called blood rake. There's 2 blood rake casts.
And they both have tethers on either tanks or healers or DPS.
So in that, so I took a tether, I didn't have a buff, and I died.
I took your tether from you.
I died to eating a tether.
Did you take it from somebody else?
Else's.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not really intuitive what we're supposed to do.
Did you look it up?
I'm reading it.
I'm just watching I'm watching our stream, and these mechanics aren't actually intuitive.
It's not
Uh-oh.
at all.
And you're doing a very nice job guiding in the right direction, though.
I have an idea.
I don't understand it.
So the second group that gets it, right? They have to not have.
I don't think the blood rake has anything to do with the roll thing.
I think
I think it's a very long mechanic.
So, what we had there...
Keep going, Kanata.
Okay, so
Where's
like, Tylee has the... So it was DPS second for the blood rake. So Tylee took a tether. He passed the debuff, took the tether, was fine. I got a Christmas tree. I was also fine. So the people that get
So
the first blood rake should have the tree, and the people that have the second one should take the tether.
There are 2 blood rakes,
There are 2 blood rakes.
and he gets the buff after the second one?
No, you don't get buffs during.
No, not you.
He gets
the
his buff
boss.
after the second.
Oh. Maybe?
Right. So if the boss there are, I believe, 2 reasonable assumptions here. One is either that one roll needs to not have any buffs at all at the end, or everyone who started with a buff needs to not have a buff at the end. Those, I think, are the 2 reasonable assumptions. Now, if we assume that what he's saying is, I absorbed some Aether from DPS, therefore I will do massive damage to DPS, then it seems reasonable to say that the DPS that have it need to pass it to not DPS.
That seems
And
very reasonable.
Then there's going to be a tank and healer who already have one, so that means that the tank and healer who do not have one would need to stand somewhere to be given the DPS's debuffs, Christmas trees. Do we want to try that?
That sounds fine.
I would like to know more.
Yes, but who passes to who?
If it's the DPS,
Well,
In under what conditions should people pass?
okay. So let's start from the assumption that he gets the DPS damage buff, right? There's going to be one tank that doesn't have a Christmas tree and one healer that doesn't have a Christmas tree, and the 2 DPS that have Christmas trees need to pass them on. So melee priority system. Melee would pass to the tanks, range would pass to the healers, and then, the middle people would have to, like, flex or whatever.
What if a healer always stands at 4 and a tank always stands at 2, and then the pass just can happen there, period? So either the DPS are taking the debuff from them, or the DPS are passing the debuff to them.
Right, that was the next thing is, in the reverse scenario, it's exactly the same, except for it's the tank and healer that have the debuff that needs to stand there, and the ones that don't have the debuff needs to get the heck out.
I just mean to have a static position for them. Yeah, I know, right?
Right.
I hate digititis.
I mean...
They've made many improvements on passing things.
Right, and also, like, it's much less time sensitive than digititis. You can just, like, stand on those waymarks for, like, a good 10 seconds before the thing resolves. It's not like, if you don't pass in the next 3 seconds, then it's a raid wipe. Fucking digititis.
So, do the people with the peace sign get the tethers?
Peace sign?
The Christmas tree?
No, the peace sign. The Y?
No, the Y just means you can't participate in passing it.
Oh wait, that's a reverse peace sign, isn't it?
Right, so Christmas trees take the tethers. Can we try that?
And they're AoEs, because I got caught in someone else's, so...
Yeah, take them to the
Don't
corners.
Stack on top of each other. I mean, you can...
I'm not gonna lie, I'm not following. So... There's... is Bloodrake involved? Bloodrake is
Yes. Bloodrake is going to determine if it goes on DPS or not DPS. If it goes on DPS, then the DPS need to not have Christmas trees. If it goes on not DPS, then the DPS need to have Christmas trees.
I know that you're very centered on DPS, but okay. The way that you say that sounds confusing.
It's either that or I'm saying tanks and healers every time. So if the DPS are the second Bloodrake, then tanks and healers need to have all the red and green dots.
Okay.
There should be one on each of them.
Okay.
And the reason why you're talking about the second one as opposed to the first one is because he's buffed then.
The second one is when he gets the buff on himself. It says, I have absorbed the aether of this role.
Have we noticed any consistency on who's getting targeted with the tethers?
No, because we've done like 2 polls.
So is there going to be a world where... Is there going to be a world where we have to pass to a healer who then needs to take the tether and we take the tether off of them and then get
I don't know. We should do a poll and try out some of this stuff because we won't know until we get more polls in, until we actually try out some of these theories. Alright, this is the first set of Bloodrake. It's on DPS. He did not get a buff. Oh, he got 1 buff. This is... Are you sure there's a second Bloodrake?
Yes.
Okay, so he converted that into...
DPS
And
again.
it's on DPS.
Okay, so DPS need to not have Christmas trees. So, what was it? Tank on 2? Which tank do I pass this to? I guess I'm passing this to a healer. Which healer can take this?
Not me. That's fine, I'll die. Oh, I didn't die.
Well, I lived, but somebody dropped their puddle.
Well, because
on me,
I
so died.
had to try and get it to Pam.
Alright.
I would have died with the tether.
So okay. So I did not get targeted with either Bloodrake I picked up a buff and a tether, and I lived.
Yep.
All right. So
Yeah,
let's.
I thought-
Which spot is the tank going to go to, and which spot's the healer going to go to?
I mean, tanks can go to 2, healers go to 4. Okay, or that. That's fine.
Oh, you want to do 1, 2, and then 3, 4?
I mean, if we can only pass it once,
You can only
why
pass it
wouldn't
once.
we just stack up?
Because we don't want
Um,
to pass to each other.
Right, you don't want a tank to pass it to the other tank because
Right, but if so, like, let's say all of the.
No.
It doesn't matter if a tank passes it to another tank.
But it does, because then that tank can't get it again.
correct.
Which means now a DPS hasn't. You just die with. If you have that debuff on and you're at the end and you don't. And you're one of the people, it just kills you. Like, that's what just happened to me. So.
Right, and so we need.
Because I couldn't pass it to Salenta because he had
we
already
can't-
gotten it and passed it off.
We can't pre-stack, or else the DPS that should not have Christmas trees will accidentally take the Christmas trees off of the tanks and healers that start with the Christmas trees. So we need to spread out first, and then we need to figure out, do the DPS need the Christmas trees, or tanks and healers need Christmas trees, and then pass accordingly.
I wasn't clear. Sorry. Why wouldn't the people that don't need the buff at the end of the phase not stack up? That way it's easy. People who need the buff just run in, grab it from somebody random, and run back out. That way it's not, we're all spread out. We have to find.
Because if you are standing on someone else of a different role, then you will give it to them and not be able to. There can be at
But
most
if
like
you don't need it.
if you
It
don't
doesn't
need
matter
it.
if you pass it. Because if you pass, so if you don't need the buff, if everybody that doesn't need the buff stacks up, it'll get passed initially, and that's fine. Because they don't need it anyway. So then the people that do need it just run through that stack, pick it up from somebody random, and then run off.
The issue will come in with timing. If both tanks run it at the same time, and due to proximity, let's say Tam gets it and then passes it immediately to you, and then you're unable to take a DPS.
That's fine. We go one at a time. But that way we're not all spread out, and I have to figure out, okay, we're spread out all over the place. Who's got what I need? Where do I find them?
Well, that's why we're saying we have the spots.
Right.
Right.
But if we're all stacked up, then I think it solves that problem. But
Who is we all in this scenario?
the people that don't need the buff.
I would call them a debuff.
Right, the
Because it's
debuffs.
not so this little thing is not protecting you from the tether. It's protecting
Okay,
the person, the other
people
class
that
from dying.
don't need
Yeah.
the Christmas tree.
Well, I think that's what's causing confusion for some
People
people.
that don't need the Christmas tree.
That need to get rid of the Christmas tree.
Yes.
Yeah.
If
they
they're
can-
all
they can-
stacked up. Sorry.
Tam,
go
you
ahead.
weren't a DPS. So that time it was going to kill all DPS who had that debuff at the end of that cast because it picked DPS for the second blood rake. So if you're a DPS with that debuff at the end and you haven't passed it off to somebody who isn't one, you're going to die. If it was tanks and healers, then the DPS needs to take it off you or you would have just died at the end of the debuff counter,
So
with or
the
without a
tether-
tether. With or without a tether, so it has nothing to do with the tether.
That's what I was just about to say, is that it doesn't have anything to do with the tether.
I don't think that timer, I don't know, it's really...
Both mechanics seem to, like, the tether mechanic and the debuff mechanic seem to resolve at the same time.
Yes.
But they're separate mechanics. So, like, the debuff doesn't seem to necessarily influence surviving the tether or not.
Well, probably, except for the fact that you probably would take double damage and die. Except maybe not if you're a tank. Right. So it's not that it's like inherently related as a mechanic. It's just that it happens at the same time. So the people who, quote, did everything right, do they take 0 damage?
Yes. Well,
Nice.
basically. If you do the Christmas tree right, you take 0. If you do the tether right, you should take 1 tick of tether.
140k tick of tether.
It's survival.
So who gets the tethers doesn't even matter at all.
It matters less.
That can't be correct. Come on.
I think
Has that
it's-
ever been the case where the mechanic doesn't really matter?
I would say if I had to guess, it's that second blood rake.
Yeah, so since it was like DPS damage up there, the tanks and healers should take the 4 tethers.
Yeah, for sure.
So is
Okay,
it the first blood rake dictates the debuff and the second blood rake dictates the
No.
tethers?
No, first and second blood rake are independent. We have seen both on the same set of people and on different sets of people.
Right, but
No,
it could. The first 2 blood rakes could affect the 2 different abilities. So it could be DPS for both mechanics, but that means that DPS need to do both mechanics.
right,
As-
so if it was double DPS like that time, then it means we can't have the debuff and we can't take a tether?
That is my expectation.
I think I'm on board with that plan.
Okay, so
Yeah.
let's do the thing that Ollie is suggesting, which is to say, if you get picked for, sorry, was the tether the first blood rake or the second blood rake? First blood rake is, I'm guessing, the debuffs, the Christmas trees, because it happened, that resolves first.
I think so too, yeah.
So if you get the first Christmas tree, like let's simplify this even more. Here. Go away 4. All right, tank is gonna stand there. 4 is, well, here we'll do 2. 2 is if you need to pass, if you need to get rid of a debuff, you stand on 2. So that could be all tanks and healers, or all DPS. And then if you need to pick up a thing, because that is your job, is to pick up the things from the other people, then one at a time, people will go and step on 2 to pick it up off of people. Everyone else, because they're all stacked up, this is like Omega or something like that, where it will just like trigger immediately because everyone's stacked up. So in this case, DPS needed to not have the debuff, so all the DPS would stack on 2, and then the tank that does not have a debuff would walk into 2 and pick up a debuff, and the healer that does not have a debuff would then walk into 2, and no one else can pass it because everyone has at that point already passed it to someone, and they have the thing that says, I can't pass it anymore, and that just prevents it from passing 2 DPS for the rest of that thing. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Is there, I don't think there is there any reason why a person would need to take a debuff from a certain class?
We don't know yet. The assumption is no.
Alright.
The assumption is just that a certain class needs to not have the debuff and a certain class needs to have the debuff. Or, I guess, they need to have the debuff so that the other people don't.
Alright, so just to reiterate, in that particular run, because it was DPS, we wanted the end result to be no DPS with any Christmas trees and no DPS taking any tethers?
Yes.
Okay.
We want to assign 4 ways for tether takes.
Tether takes doesn't matter, but what should happen is we should have a 3, so that people who are quote done, who know what they're doing and are in the right situation, can all stack there. That way, everybody who needs to pick up a tether knows where they can stand to pick up the tether. And where to avoid specifically, right? Because the people who are picking up the tethers do not need to worry about passing to each other if everything's going right. and vice
If we
versa.
do this strat where one roll stacks up, then once the debuffs have been passed, it will be unable to pass it to anyone because everyone will either have a debuff or the thing that says I can't pass the debuff anymore, or I can't take the debuff anymore.
Right. So what's the tether fan out strategy?
I think the tether fan out strategy. Here's my recommendation for that. We stack on the butt, and everyone who's taking a tether, maybe we can stack it max melee. We'll say like here. Everyone who's taking a tether just walks in front and then goes out. In fact, this can also be the stack up to share the things. Go out diagonals, intercards.
I wanted
like
a different spot.
But I mean, there are two mechanics that we're resolving sequentially. First, we're resolving the Christmas trees, and then the tethers come out considerably later than that.
So
in fact, when we're done with the Christmas trees, we can literally have the entire party on 3 positionals aside, right? Because
hold on. No, so I'm still not. We can't. Let's not talk about that quite yet because I don't understand. Like, if a tank, a healer, and 2 DPS get the buffs originally, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the people who. So the people who would be going to 3 in that case, if it was DPS, would be
the DPS.
all the DPS.
Yeah, all the DPS will be standing on 3.
And then
What'll happen
they
is
will pass it to each other.
Not a
and
good
then
idea,
they-
yeah.
The other
So-
tank healer will step onto 3 to pick it up from them because I don't think it can pass twice. Can it?
correct. Right. So what'll happen is because the 4 DPS are stacked up, the 2 DPS that started with it will immediately pass it to the 2 DPS that didn't start with it, and then they won't be able to pick up the thing anymore. Then the tank and healer will then step onto the waymark, and now the tanks and healers will have it, and all 4 DPS will be unable to. They'll have the Y buff, so they can't take it anymore.
Okay.
Now we have resolved the debuffs. Nobody can pass debuffs anymore, so we don't have to worry about stepping on each other.
I'm
Then
okay with trying it, but I don't think that's going to work. We have never seen more than 2 of the. We've never been able to pass it more than once, or observed that we could. But we can.
let's try it. Then after that, since we're all stacked on 3, all the tethers will go to 3, and the people who need to take the tethers will walk forward to the boss to pick up a tether and then pull it out to, I don't know, just for the sake of argument, we'll just have them stand on these little diamond things. And you can just do, since it's going to be either tanks and healers or DPS, we can just go to our normal 4-way corners.
They're not that big. They're like 8 yohms.
Just to make sure that we understand that we're doing the mechanic correctly.
Yeah. It's fine.
And this should be said, but if you are not picked for the first tether, spread out so that you're not standing tanks and healers on top of each other. Or whatever. First blood rake on tanks and healers.
Yep.
So tanks and healers stand on 3, DPS spread out. Alright, second one. So tanks and healers will take the tethers. Alright, and if you're a DPS that does not have a Christmas tree after this thing goes on, if you do not have a Christmas tree, go stand on 3. Alright, now everyone else can go stand on 3. Tanks and healers take the tethers. That was a lot of damage.
Backwards.
Probably backwards. So the first tether would, or sorry, the first blood rake is the tethers, and the second blood rake is the Christmas trees.
The first one is the people who take the tethers, and the second one is the people who don't take the buff.
Correct. Alright, this is on DPS, so tanks and heal tethers. Yeah.
He got it in different order this time.
Yeah, so DPS stand on 3, tanks and healers spread out. And then the 2 tanks and healers that don't have the thing come to 3. Okay, and now it was tanks and healers take tethers. We did it! We did a mechanic.
Oh, jeez!
Oh yeah, we still haven't figured out what that one is.
It's probably just a 1-2 tank question, no?
Yeah, it is.
It is, and I thought I had enough up, but I didn't, so.
You did.
Alright, this one I think it's 2 people each.
What was that selected?
No.
So I guess I'm going southeast with I'm going to the red square if it's lightning. It's water, so it's knockback, and fire, so stacks. So get knocked back into your 4-way, to your diagonals. That was a lot of damage. That was 80,000.
Also, knockback is not that far.
Going north with this thingy.
Yeah, north. Yeah, north and spread out.
Knockback is less than normal mode.
Yeah, and you don't want to get knocked to the center because you take a dot.
Yeah, yeah, touching those little holes is bad. And maybe
So,
that's why I took.
Knockback and move.
Oh, is it 2 instances? Is it 4-way splits?
I think that one of those was the dot for getting knocked into the center hole thing.
Oh.
But that's still a lot of damage.
Yeah, that's more than our max HP.
I mean, the second one could have been mitigated, but I don't know.
I think the 80,000 might have been the dot from the floor.
Oh, I don't think so. I think that was the stack, but I think I had a debuff. Well, let's see.
Yeah,
Let's try again.
Let's just do 4 ways and see what happens.
Wait.
Cardinals?
Yes. Yes, let's do Cardinals.
And if it's lightning, then after getting knocked back, we need to continue to run to the corners.
Wait, what are 4 ways?
Yeah, if it's lightning, we just die. If we get knocked to the sides, right?
Probably.
Yeah.
If you stay there, like this is, you get roasted. You have to be all the way out to about here to not die one shot from the lightning.
We don't have time?
It's not a lot of time. Maybe
I mean, just don't get knocked into the hole that's in the center of this thing right here. Like, don't stand here. Don't get knocked here.
Okay.
You can get knocked here. This is fine.
Alright, let's try it. So much.
That's with a slap. Blood Rake. Okay, so tanks and healer tethers. And tanks and healer the Christmas trees. So DPS on 3. Alright, and then tanks and healers pick it up. And once you've picked it up, you can stay on 3. Until we take these tethers.
Oh, they're pretty big. Yeah. Holy cow, that hurts so much. Oh no.
Well, we survived!
Alright,
Come on.
1, 2.
Oh,
Nice.
lightning, so go to the corners and spread. We should probably not all go to the same corner for that reason. Then it's a knockback, and he's going south, so get knocked south. That did a lot of damage.
Also, the green square explodes when the green mechanic is happening.
I don't think that's.
Haven't you been doing normal?
What?
We've been doing normal. It does do that in normal.
It doesn't
No,
do
it actually
damage
doesn't.
in normal.
Oh, you mean the
It
things
does.
and that? Why would you stand?
It doesn't do a lot of damage, but it does.
I would say it does minute damage from standing in it,
Yeah.
but it's because it's it's normal.
Right, so in that case it was south and water was going off, so you needed to get knocked diagonally south to this spot right here, which was not on the water panel, and also south, and also not in the cleave. And so in the case where the green one is going off and we're going to corners, we need to run to the corners that are not the green one, but also be able to spread out, because if 8 people run to the southeast corner, then someone's going to clip someone else. Now, do we know if the location of the 4 panels is always the same?
I think it's been different.
Okay.
Seems likely. That doesn't seem particularly difficult once we understand what we're supposed to do.
I just wonder if we can do things to, like, have predetermined spread locations or stack locations.
It's going to be based on the same principles that we would have decided if it was static locations anyway.
So, like in the case where it is fire and lightning, we need to go to the corners that are not fire or lightning. And if it's stack, are we doing 2 stacks of 4? It seemed like there might have been more than 2 hits of the puddles. Do we need to then spread out after the lightning?
No, I think there is just 2 stacks for 4.
Alright, well, I guess until proven otherwise, let's do that. So, I guess light parties will have favor north versus south, or the fallback is east-west. I guess here, healers get the joy of having numbers on your heads. Getting your light party stacks.
Kodada, what have you most consistently done for stuff like this? North-south priority and then east-west fallback?
Sure.
So if it's, well, I guess in this case, north, south, east, west doesn't make sense because it's intercardinals.
Yeah.
So if it was northeast and south west.
Well, let's see. Actually, since you're on the east side, I'm on the west side. We take the one that's there, right?
What if it's northwest and southwest?
If it's northwest and southwest,
Then I go southwest, right?
You want north or south?
Tanks. Well, I guess there's a tank in each.
Yeah, it's like it's balanced. So there's
like Tam should go north.
Okay, so then we'll be east and west as much as we can. If we are unable to do so, then our group will go to the A side, your group will go to the C side. Yeah. So like if it's northeast, northwest, we're fine like this. If it's southeast, southwest, we're also fine like this. Yeah, if it's northwest, southeast, we're also fine like this.
If it's northeast, southeast,
Yeah.
then we'll take the southeast.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Okay.
Last pull.
Since it's short,
Hopefully
We're
not
not-
that
we're-
short.
we're not committing to a whole lot by this last poll.
Time to hit and rage.
You're so cute.
Time to rage?
See, time to see the mechanic that we spent like 5 minutes talking about. That's all we can hope for.
I just hope for the same thing I hope for every night, which is to die to something new.
This is on DPS. No, wait. Is it?
Tanks
It's
and
on
healers.
Tanks and healers. Alright, so DPS tethers. Christmas trees on tanks and healers. Alright, go in.
Don't stack. Oh, that works. Oh, this works. I forgot this works. Oh, I know what I can use for that. Where's my cheese?
Let's see. That's not that scary, Ollie.
Alright, knockback and stacks. We're going west, north, and south.
You are the worst.
I thought you were going to move a little bit more. I tried to stack up, but...
Second north.
Well, that...
Oh, we are fighting. Spread out?
Yep.
After this. Now.
And you...
Whoosh.
Oh, we did it!
We shouldn't have been on
Like half the party dies. We did it!
Yeah, I mean, as long as you survive to that.
Wait!
I did vote for whatever that's worth.
I don't have shirk.
Did he just blood rake the puddles, or is that because no one's alive?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so I mean, he might actually blood rake the puddles at that point and cause those squares to explode.
It was
No.
on.
No, it's on people.
So my recommendation is, whoever provokes at the start just keeps it.
Oh, what is this?
Acting healer.
Acting tank. Non-tanks will suffer heavy damage. However, being hit by certain attacks will remove this effect without the resulting damage. Elemental resistance. Oh, God, ooh, ow. Oh, I don't have anything. That's a lot. Oh wait, and the bubbles.
Here's the bubbles.
Oh,
Oh, oh, so this is like normal. Only you have to do your acting roll, not your real roll.
Oh. Oh my god.
I mean, that seems pretty elementary. It's like, can I read an icon on a debuff?
Look, you're asking a lot.
Yeah.
For whatever it's worth, by the time those balls came out and it was able to be taken, we had like 6 or 7 seconds left on our acting buffs. So we gotta resolve that kind of quick. Which makes me think the acting buffs are used for something before that. Otherwise, they would have just given them to us later and had them last for 5 seconds instead.
Well, it might,
Those balls might explode or something. Or they might start speeding up.
it also might be a way to pre-position to resolve it quickly.
I don't know, that's a lot of time before those balls came out. We'll keep an eye on that, but it's pretty sussy.
But anyway, good play tonight. We cleared all of our things in one night. Yay!
I think the Friday day helps to keep things more fresh as opposed to having like a whole week in between.
Having the Monday where you're just like, I have no recollection of this place.
Yeah.
I mean, the first and second nights are kind of like that anyway, but...
Because you only do it once a week. Like one pull a week.
Ideally. Good night.
Good night. Expert?
Yes, please.
Yes. Tank? Tank for expert?
Yeah, sure. Well, let's roll for it. Low roll, thanks.
Oof.
Ouch.
Fine. That's why we roll on it.
The universe made a decision very clearly.
Do you want to try the solo heals?
No, I don't care. Just do it. Also, why are there only 2 dice rolls? Why are there not 4?
Kanata just needs to give me his
No, he just
login
needs to
credit.
play. Oh man,
Just-
play the game.
Do you think that I could convince Kanata to log in more than 9 hours a week? It's asking a lot.
Oh, that was too early. As one of them, I don't even have aggro on this. This is great. This is the best way to start a run.
Oh, this is embarrassing. I don't even know how to do an AoE rotation on Reaper. I'm like, I hit these buttons? Nope.
Still 12k deeps. No problem.
I think I would do more on Summoner. Maybe not.
With the length of that pull, I don't know.
Summoner has real good burst.
Yeah, but that pull is real long.
Oh, okay. The other way. why do they have tank busters? It's like mustard bomb that do like 25k damage completely unmitigated. Like, why even have that?
It's for Babby's. Babby's first tank buster.
He's an expert. It's not even like nerfed expert.
Well, it's kind of nerfed expert in that it was the first set.
It's the first set, but it's not even the first dungeon.
Right, so at least we get full eye level.
Oh yeah, it actually makes it easier. And technically you had a cooldown, but it was only 10%.
Did I?
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't my cooldown, so it doesn't count.
Okay.
I probably should sprint, but I'm so lazy. I'm so lazy it bleeds over into how I act in the game. That didn't work.
Should I know if you with that?
I need to stop using gluttony when it's at like 5% health. I'm wasting these little stack of 2 buff that I have. It's going away. I'm just gonna lose it.
Giblet, gallows, guillotine. Dang, what the fuck?
Yeah, edgy names. Dark like my soul.
Is the tank in danger? Haha, no, he's a warrior.
I like that I don't have to have an enemy targeted to do AoE. It's the worst when you're trying to move, but you have to target an enemy.
Why is the difference between warrior and everything else in multi-pools?
Because warrior healing scales based on the number of enemies you're hitting. And no other tank has that. You do a single AoE and it heals you for more than your max HP.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I guess this guy doesn't have a position, he's not going to be back here.
Right. Guess I'm getting a Vuln stack.
Oh, that's bigger than I thought.
We're all getting full stacks.
No, I turned around. I did it right.
No fear.
Under 14 minutes.
so that's good.
Yep.
Especially since it's not like I was sprinting anywhere. Although I guess, honestly, like, kind of the reason why I don't care about sprinting and stuff like that is it's like, first of all, people need to catch up often. And sprinting's only a 20% boost, like, for 20 seconds. How many seconds is that really going to save?
Over the whole run?
Maybe 20. Maybe
Yeah.
30.
Yeah, maybe 20. 30, I think, might be a stretch. Even 20 is a bit of a stretch.
You just bring us caller.
It's like on a 3-minute cooldown.
But then you have 2 sprints per leg.
It's true.
Mm-hmm.
In those annoying dungeons where they make you pull 1 pack at a time, you can sprint to the pack, and then on the next pack you can scholar sprint.
And save 4 seconds.
4 seconds getting to
whole
where you're going.
seconds.
4 seconds every 3 minutes.
Well, I mean, considering the fact that there's only 3 hallways per dungeon,
Oh,
12 seconds.
it's one of those things I think people do that makes them feel good. Feel like they're trying really hard.
I mean, it's like going 10 miles over the speed limit. It's like, how much time are you actually saving? It's like, on the trip to the grocery store, not that much time, but it makes me feel less bad about how long it's taking.
On the trip to LA? Might
Yeah,
matter.
that adds up.
It's like half an hour.
Well, you're only driving 5 more miles an hour faster than you normally would, right? If you're driving like 10 over.
I'm with you. I have internalized that there's the posted speed limit, and then there's the real speed limit, which is posted speed limit plus 5.
Most places, like, legally, they can't pull you over if you're 5 or less over the speed limit. Like, if you go to court in most jurisdictions, and they show like the speedometer registering you at 65 in a 60-mile-per-hour zone, then the ticket gets dismissed. There's a lot of, that's a very common law. Not everywhere, but like,
You're also just not gonna get pulled over.
right.
It's just
But-
not worth it.
Well, no, I won't say that. There are certain places and there are certain times when cops are very clearly tasked, like, just go give me a bunch of speeding tickets.
Right. If you have a municipality that is self-incorporated on a long stretch of interstate, or even worse, country highway.
Actually, the worst is like suburbs inside of bigger cities
Uh,
that have like small